And we're live.
Good morning. Good morning, Rania. Good morning,
Good
everybody.
morning, everyone.
I see the numbers. Wow.
Yeah, we have
It's,
139 people
I love it.
on this goal.
Good morning, everyone. We are so happy to be here today. We know this workshop is basically for the cabin crew. So we are going to talk about meaning and purpose today, where we know we go through a lot throughout our day, week, month, and it can really affect what we do and how we do things. So we decided today to do things differently and to have more of a discussion. And I don't know if everybody is allowed to write on the chat. This is going to be an interactive workshop. So please go ahead if you have any questions, anything you want to say or a comment. Please go ahead and write, or you can even open your mic if you're able to. Okay, we have Rania with us today, and I am Hadid. So let's start.
Yeah,
Okay,
let's take off, Hadil, huh?
let's take off.
Yes. So
All right.
everyone fasten your seat belts. We will be your cabin crew for this morning. And our objectives is to basically understand the concept of meaning and purpose, why we do what we do, and our purpose in what we're doing, and to identify different components and levels of meaning and purpose. That's a big topic, actually, that requires probably more than 1 hour of discussing. To recognize the factors influencing the development of meaning and purpose, and to implement effective strategies for fostering meaning and purpose. So it's quite a heavy meal this morning.
Definitely, Rania. I was thinking the same thing that an hour would not be enough to actually think and try to reflect on what kind of meaning and purpose we want, throughout, everything we do and apply every single day. So
Yeah,
definitely.
absolutely. So, Hadil, I will start by kicking off a question that we are usually asked by the HR manager. How do you envision yourself or your future self? Where do you see yourself in 5 years, for instance? That's a question that is the most common question. And it's quite interesting to look into it. Where do you see your future self, or how do you see it? How do you
I
envision it?
should have prepared for that question.
Yeah.
Um, Well, I have to think for a little bit because I feel like I have few pictures ahead. I'm not just thinking about this one thing, but I see myself to be that educator. I see myself teaching, and you know, uh, yeah, I see myself as a professor actually in university. Hopefully one day.
Yeah, and the reason we put the future self is to actually understand why we're doing what we're doing today, that will help us embody and reach to this future self. So that's the purpose of this question, and I invite everyone in this room to ask, why am I doing what I'm doing? And how will this help me be closer to my future self? So that's the purpose of this question. We will throw so many questions for you to reflect on. So maybe we're sharing some words on how do you see your future self. So you see yourself educator, confident, connected, financially secure, healthier, resilient, confident. So this is another invite for you to see if you want to see yourself as an educator, Hadil. What
Yeah.
are you doing today to connect with this future self, or to get one step closer to your future self?
Okay. Well, there's a step every day, obviously.
Yeah.
I try to read more. I try to learn more about either presenting, because obviously an educator needs to present. So one of the things that I've done yesterday connected to my goal was actually do a workshop with the pilots yesterday about stress management. and
Yeah.
life balance. So I was able to take that every day. There's that step. So yesterday, yeah, I did that workshop to
And
know how
that's
to
what
present.
gives, exactly, and that's what gives meaning and purpose to the daily tasks that you do. So I also
Mm.
invite all the attendees here. We have now 205 people on
Wow.
this call. I invite you to envision your future self. Where do you see yourself in the future? And what are you doing today to get closer to where you want to be?
You
So,
can share with us on the chat a word from the words before, maybe to share with us what do you envision
What
for
do you envision?
yourself, just to give them
Yeah,
like a
Rania.
minute or two. We can read them up on the chat.
yeah, Dana, thank you for helping. Maybe you can read it for us because I don't have access to the chat at the
Yeah,
moment.
yeah, I will. I will. If
All
I
right,
get any
excellent.
messages, I will definitely let you know, ladies. Anybody would like to share with us anything?
Rania, you tell us while we wait.
Well, I see myself as going forward as someone who is probably, well, that's a deep question, you know. But I know that I want to be someone who spreads positive energy, someone who spreads laughter. And this is what I do on daily basis. Actually, I'm a medical clown. Uh, in addition to being a certified coach from the International Coaching Federation, I visit hospitals as a medical clown to spread joy and laughter to people in need. So one visit at a time, we share laughter and we expand the ripple of joy in the world because so many things happening in the world. So I vision myself as someone who spreads positive energy and laughter.
So you see that you can picture that image of yourself in the future.
Absolutely,
Okay,
absolutely.
that's amazing. All right. I don't see anything in the chat. All right, we'll
Okay.
continue. Mm.
So now that we have envisioned ourselves and connected with our future self, how does it feel to be that person? And I would like to share my observation, Hadil, that when you said, I want to be an educator, you immediately smiled. So I'm assuming this brought pleasant emotions to the table.
Beautiful emotions.
Yeah,
Definitely. I feel like there's some sort of strength in it, seeing that, imagining that in my head that I can be that person and see myself actually standing there giving that class, let's say in university, does make me feel so happy and so much joy.
yeah, that's amazing. Connecting with your future self. And for instance, if I want to see myself financially secured in the future, how does that make me feel? And how that would help me really be more of what I want to be. So
Yeah.
really ask yourself, how does it feel to be a confident person? How does it feel to be an empowered person? How does it feel to be a financially secured person? And there's no one thing that you can be all of them. Just connecting with this, just check in. How does it make you feel? We also your comments and feedback are welcomed in the chat box. So, as we stand today, how far are you from becoming that person? So, if I said I want to be someone who spreads positive energy or who spreads laughter and joy to people in need, or you want to be an educator, someone else wants to be financially secured. So we need to do some sort of assessment. Where do we stand today from that goal or from that future image? Am I very far, or I might be very close, or I might be somewhere in the middle? So where do you stand today, Hadil?
Should I give a number or خلينا نحكي far or close? I think
Yeah,
I
far or
am
close.
okay. I think I'm close. Like let's say I'm um maybe 5, 6. Okay, no,
Yeah.
not that close. Like I'm still taking those steps. Yes, so
Yeah.
I'm in between basically.
So the reason we are assessing is just to see how long do we need to reach this state, and also what action do I need to do in order to arrive to that place. Now, it differs. Maybe if I ask you tomorrow, the answer would be different depending on the circumstances, depending on the actions you have taken to move forward. But it's good to see where do I stand today. So if I want to see myself as a
Rania
financial,
and Hadil, the comments are coming in.
yes.
ففي آمنة saying good and positive.
So that's how you envision yourself, Amna.
And there's a
I'm
lot of career aspiration comments about being a leader and being an
Yeah.
advisor.
wow. How can we see the comments? And the comment section is
Um,
open, but I don't see anything.
at the Q&A section.
Q&A. So thank you, Sarah, for sharing those comments. So some people see themselves as leaders, supervisors, in leading positions. It's worth assessing where do we stand today from that future self, on a
في
scale from
كمان جاي debt free.
debt free. Wow, that's very. I relate to
Yeah,
that.
yeah. Socially active.
Socially active. Yeah. So if I want to, I envision myself as a socially active person and I spend my time at home today. So is my action aligned with where I want to be? Maybe yes, maybe no. So it's worth if I want to be a debt free and I'm spending left, right, and center, how is this aligned? So today is a chance for us to see and reassess what we do on daily basis that will connect us and help us reach to where we want to be as future. Now, in order to move forward, we need to set goals like any other, like the KPIs you set in your organizations for yourself. We need to set personal goals as well. So, in order to reach a financially secured status or a positive and connected person, what goals do I set to myself? Do you have any set goals at the moment that will help you reach to your future self? I'm happy to hear comments, questions. Any of you have goals to become that person, to become a debt-free person, to become a socially active person?
Thinking about the goals that I do daily to
Yeah.
become this educator.
And goals is like it requires a module on its own on how to set your goals, how to be
Yes.
specific, how to be very, how to be measurable as well, attainable and achievable. So sometimes we set very high goals for ourselves where we get demotivated. So how are you in a place where you are setting goals on your personal and professional level? So someone mentioned, I see myself in a leadership position. What goals have you set for yourself to reach to that place?
Yes. Mm.
Maybe you need to enhance certain skills. Maybe you need to acquire certain certifications. Maybe you need to work and enhance your network. So what are the goals that you have set for yourself? So how do you choose which goals to set to achieve it? How do you set goals in general, Hadil?
Well, usually it's because I look at that bigger picture. I think about what do I want really from this. And after that, I start putting those small goals to say, okay, today I'm going to do this. This week, I'm going to achieve this. This month, I'm going to try to achieve this, you know?
Yeah.
So, but Yeah, I don't want to give the answer away, but I need to understand why I want to do what I want to do and why to set those
Absolutely.
goals.
So the motive, we need to really consider the motive. Why am I doing what I'm doing? So for me personally, the way I set my goals is I take every aspect of my life and take a small goal in every aspect, on the social level, on the financial level, on the emotional level, on the personal development level. I take small goals, one goal at a time, and connect them to my future self. So, how does a financially secured person act? What goals do I need to set on the social level, on the emotional level, on the financial level to be able to move forward? So before you set the goal, you need to know the reason you want to become this person. And that's, there are so many journals and agendas that might help you and guide you in order how to set the goal. So you start by the bigger goal. I want to be a financially secured person. Let's take this as a goal. You need to know the reason and the motive behind setting that goal. So you keep on writing, what is the motive? I want to be a financially secure person to be able to travel the world. I want to be a financially secure person to be able to give to my community, and so forth, you know? So you need to really understand the motive behind every goal you want to set. Okay. What's the purpose and what's the relationship between goals and meaning? So, meaning and purpose, basically. So, we started with meaning and purpose, and suddenly we jumped into the goals. How is this aligned? How is this connected? Any comments in the chat?
We're still not able, we're still trying to get access to the Q&A. So
Yeah.
I'm looking at the chat. Yeah, we're still waiting. But we are going to
Okay.
go back and read
So,
all the
what do you think
comments.
the relationship?
طيب في عبد العزيز بيقول to achieve the goal I think you need to write down what is your tools and sources.
Tools and sources.
Absolutely,
Wow.
Abdulaziz. Tools and sources is very important in setting the goals, to know what are my resources and what's my support system to achieve that goal. That's a very important element. Thank you for sharing.
We're
So,
still.
what do you think? Yeah, the relationship between goals and meaning and purpose.
I think that when this is when you asked me the question and you said, okay, so how do you choose your goals? I had to look back and think, oh, well, this goal, I want to do this because of that big picture that I have in mind of how I look like on that day, giving that lecture, giving that class. So before setting this goal, I had to take a step back to try to imagine myself
To
to
imagine,
understand.
yeah, to
Yes.
understand. And also, it's a very interesting question. There's a book actually by Simon Sinek that I encourage everyone to read. It is the power. It starts with why. The power of. I think it's called the power of why. I'll get it up in a minute. But really, it's connecting to the why. Why are we
Yes.
doing what we're doing? And this is a question that I ask myself very often. Why am I
Actually,
doing what
Rania,
I'm doing?
it's called this. It starts with a Y,
It
and it's
starts with a why. Yeah.
yes. I read it. I finished reading the book, and it's really, 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 really inspiring. And it always starts with understanding your why for everything you want to do in life. I
Yeah, and
recommend reading it.
thank you, Dana. There's a very
Thank you.
there's a common saying that says, if you understand your why, you will find your how easily.
Yeah.
So some people get stuck in the how part. How am I going to do this? How am I going to do to be a debt-free person or to become a supervisor? How? We get stuck in the how, while really the secret is understanding the why. And when you understand the why, there is so many possibilities where you can achieve what you're achieving. So that the books discuss more about the how it starts with the why rather than the How?
Yes. Okay, so the first step is to understand the why.
Absolutely, to
Okay.
understand why am I doing what I'm doing. So you find yourself like a hamster on a wheel, doing things, achieving tasks, getting into a routine where we don't have the chance to question why
Mm.
we're doing what we're doing. So why am I doing this? And if you connect yourself to this higher meaning, that's where the daily
Break
task,
that
the
wheel.
boring task becomes more enjoyable, more fun, and more meaningful.
Yeah.
So your future self, yeah. That's so you want to go through this, Hadil? What does it so meaning
Yes.
and purpose? Yeah.
So basically, what we were saying that when I want to envision my future self, before that, when I want to set my goals, I really need to understand what is the reason behind it. As you said, the why. Why am I going to do this? Why am I choosing those habits or those actions and goals that I'm applying every single day to get to, my future self and that picture and that image that I try to get to every single day. And I imagine this picture every single day, I think about it every single day because it is about how I see things happening in the future.
Yeah, thank you, Adil.
Yes.
And I want to mention something as well. To discover the why, you need to actually dig deeper and asking yourself the five whys. So you start, why am I doing what I'm doing? Probably the
Yes.
first answer would be for the financial income.
That it's
But
always that answer in the beginning.
absolutely, and we all get the same answer. Then you ask yourself the second why. Why
Yeah.
do you want why are you doing that for the financial? Because I want to provide my family with a good quality life.
Security. Yes.
Why do you want to provide your family with a good quality life? Because I want them to enjoy life as much as possible and to enjoy life with them. Why do you want to enjoy? You keep asking yourself the why until you really drain it down into the real motive. So you want to be financially secure because you want to live a quality life with your family. That's just
Yeah.
an example, and it goes along with different examples. So
Yeah.
always ask the five whys, not only one why.
5 whys. Okay.
So what does it mean to have a purpose? I know we have it displayed on screen, but I would like to invite people to share in the chat room. What does it mean to have a purpose?
Still not.
Unfortunately, I'm trying.
Mhm.
I can't read the Q&A. Apologies for that.
ما في مشكلة هديل، أنا
Sarah,
معاكم بس
Sarah
Yeah.
can help you
إيه.
guys. Sarah can help
Yeah.
you if there's any comments on the Q&A.
Okay.
Yes.
So basically, what does it mean to have a purpose? It's to have a long-term stable intention that helps achieve something personally significant. So I would like to highlight the two words long-term and intention. So intention is really um, why am I doing the deep reason for doing that? And when I connect to the intention, I am able to move forward easier. It's the driving force. So I get motivated. And we often hear about people who are self motivated. Most likely, they are more connected to their why, to more likely, they find meaning and purpose in what they do on daily basis. And I always, during my sessions with my clients in regards to action and motivation, I realized that people think and assume I have to be motivated in order to take action, while it's the other way around. So basically, you start with action towards your future self, and then motivation follows. So it's a way to just relook at things from a different perspective on the motivation. We wait for the motivation to happen. We think that if we have extra dollars in our account, this will motivate us. We think if we lost the extra weight, we will be motivated. While this might, yes, help us move forward, but action towards your
Yes.
goals and towards your future self is what will help.
Rania,
We need
I got a
motivation.
comment here. It's somebody mentioned, I can see the chat now. To have a purpose is to have a reason to live.
To live.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yes. And Rania, actually, you said something very important, and I heard this recently where your motivation doesn't come before the action. Don't ever expect to wake up one day and be like, oh, I am very motivated to go to work today. I am very motivated to go to the gym. It doesn't happen this way. Your motivation will only happen after the first time you do it. So when you go to the gym or you go to work or you do the things you need to do, you will get that motivation the day after. So I
Absolutely.
completely agree with you. And it's, you know what? I'm one of those people that never thought about reading like just a random book. And I thought, no, this is not me. I usually just do my research. I read one page and I was like, wow, I actually like reading. And I
Yeah,
started reading more and I had that motivation. So it happens after.
absolutely. And motivation, Hadil, is like a muscle. So if I go to the gym for the first time, it's impossible for me to carry the 100 kilograms. But if I practice every day, every day, every day, there will come a day where I am able to carry this 100 kilograms.
Yes,
Motivation is like that. So I need to practice that by doing the action.
exactly.
Ladies, I'd like to, Hika, just to take a step back because I'm reading a lot of lovely messaging and comments in the chat that I'd like to share with you and with
Mhm.
everybody here. Um, for me, to have a purpose means to have the direction of where you're going in life on one step at a time. And I think this is what we just mentioned. You just need to start with the action one step at a time. Thank you for sharing. I have a clear goal that drives me. Success for me means achieving personal growth, providing the best for my family, and making a meaningful life. So I think we all have the same intention for this session, and we share the same ideas
Point
and
of
Yeah.
view. Yes.
ideals.
Thank you, Dana, for sharing. And
Thank
it's
you.
the sometimes because life happens to us, with the stress around, with the work stress, we sometimes forget really the meaning and the purpose of why we're doing what we're doing. We
Yes.
focus, our minds naturally focus on what's not working rather than on what's working and how can I get closer to my future self.
Yes.
Maybe it's a chance really to take a moment for now and take a deep breath and just think of three things that you are grateful for.
Wow.
It could be
Mm.
your family, your health,
Mm.
your work, and cultivating an attitude for gratitude is really an important driver to connect us to the meaning. So it helps my mind focus on what's working rather than on what's not working. And this will create the sense of possibility. And when
Yeah, the
you
sense
have
of
this
possibility.
the sense of
Mm.
possibility, that's when you feel motivated to move forward. So I really
Thinking about
encourage
what you're
everyone.
saying. I'm thinking about what you're saying, Rania, and you know what? I am going to share this. I was not feeling very well today, but I am grateful for my motivation and my dedication to be here, because, I could have just said, I will not be able to attend, but wanting to do this, wanting to be part of this, I am grateful for that. So I'll give myself some credit.
Yeah, that's
And it gives
excellent,
me that
Adil.
push.
Yeah,
Yes.
so this is a habit that I encourage everyone to look into, like to start the day by really writing or sharing three things that you are grateful for. And there are so many things that we could be grateful for. For instance, today I'm grateful for the internet that I am able to connect with 286 people in a different country sharing different topics, to connect with people and share my expertise on meaning and purpose. So there are so many things that we could be grateful for. And this will really help us connect with the meaning, why we're doing what we're doing. Again, I keep saying that, but it's really a question to keep asking yourself. So what does it mean to have a meaning? It's there's an emotional aspect to it, to having a meaning, the emotional importance or value we attach to intention. So it's always linked to feelings and emotions, how we feel about something and why we believe it's worth doing. You know, this thing that you keep on, I know I can do that, I know I want to do that, I know. And that's what happened with you this morning, Hadil. You really connected, you have a meaning to become an educator, and you kept on pushing yourself. So there is a feeling behind having this meaning. There is, if you dig further, probably the meaning you are getting is, um, maybe you can share with us what meaning you got out of pushing yourself to do what
Yes,
you're doing. And this is
100%.
an internal sense. So this is something you feel, I know I can do this.
I want to share,
Exactly.
somebody mentioned a goal is a vision. To, and there's a beginning and you work hard to achieve to get to the end with success. So the feeling of success, most probably, the feeling of
The feeling of success, the feeling of achieving, the
Yes,
feeling of because this will give also,
mindset.
this will help me gain confidence. So if
Mm,
I set goals and I achieve them, I become more confident. And
mm.
then I would like to highlight something. There's a slight difference between a vision and a goal.
mm,
And so a vision is the bigger umbrella, you know. A goal is when I start taking action and really having steps to achieve this vision.
That's why you asked us in the beginning to envision our future self and how do we see that big picture.
Absolutely. And then
Mm.
we went into the goals. So it starts with a vision, and then, okay, now how will I achieve this vision? Is by setting the right goals.
somebody
Yeah,
mentioned my family with a heart.
my family.
Uh-huh.
So it's really, this is their their purpose, their family, to
Mm.
serve their
Absolutely.
family. And another person mentioned to have a meaning is to have the value of something and to have the importance of something else, something as well. So it is values as well, and I think our values drives us towards what is
Absolutely. What's
meaningful for us.
Yeah, and that lies under the question, what's important to you? So if you ask yourself today, what's really important to me? My family, my career, my health, my personal development is important. So what's really important? And these are your really core values.
Yeah.
Okay. We'll jump into the common elements. When trying to identify our meaning and purpose, we need to focus on few elements. And I think, Hadil, you are
Yes.
I would like to hear your
Interpretation.
explanation on this wheel.
I was thinking about this wheel when I read this comment. One of the comments says that, you know, you work hard to achieve, to get to that end, to get to something. And this is something that we do sometimes and we forget that we just look, the idea of envisioning and the idea of seeing that picture is because I want to get to that destination. But each step that I take every single day is something to achieve, is something to reflect on, is something to look at and understand that this is also a destination. It is also to look at and appreciate that moment that, you know what, I have worked hard, I've done what I needed to do today. And I think, you know what, Rania, I think that's one of the reasons why we forget that vision, that picture in our head, that we think, okay, I'm just gonna work. I see that big picture in the end where I am living that comfortable life. I can see a lot of comments. People are sending a lot of comments. We'll read them now. But what happens is basically we forget about those daily steps. And actually, we forget about that vision because we're looking at the daily steps as a routine. So after a while, we forget what we are doing and what we're looking at in the future. So we really need to also focus on those everyday steps that we take. Appreciate everything you do every single day. I know I want to be that professor in university one day educating people, but I also need to reflect on that one day where I sit and do this workshop or talk to people on that day and try to give that kind of information, help fix and on that day. That's very important. Now, keeping in mind that your daily steps are very important. They are as important as that big vision that we have in the end. So
Yeah.
please, when you look at things, do not look at that end step. I just want to get to that destination. What you
Fixed.
do every day is also important. Sorry, Dana, you were
No, you don't want to
speaking.
look at it as it's a fixed point because it's not a fixed point. It's fluid, and things and
Exactly.
life happens and things change,
Exactly.
and you are in sometimes in position where you need to take a different decision to get to that goal.
That's
Um,
very
Absolutely.
true.
Before we
We
continue, I
have a
really,
lot of
guys, I
comments.
just want to take like 3 minutes to read the comments because they're
Yes,
lovely, and
sure.
I know people want to share. So, somebody mentioned that my family is my greatest motivation, and that's why I strive for success. I want to create a secure and a fulfilling life for them, setting an example of hard work and dedication and resilience. Every goal I achieve brings me closer to giving them the love, the support, and the opportunities they deserve. I think that's a great purpose in life to reach, and I think the meaning behind it is really the feeling behind it. It makes you happy, makes you feel content, and loved and
Yeah.
loving. Whether it's a passion or reward, motivation fuels our persistence and determination to reach new heights. I
Absolutely.
completely agree. Good morning, everyone. Yes, having a purpose in life can guide us in life decisions, influence our behavior, shape our goals, and offer a sense of direction of a great meaning. This discussion is very meaningful, full, and mind-blowing. Thank you so much for this comment. And I agree with you, Rania. That was actually a conversation we were having the other day. What is
Yes,
the decision I'm making today
exactly.
to influence my behavior today and will shape who I am in the future. So it's all we're all aligned in the way
Yeah.
we envision our future. Another comment is having a purpose is a psychological state of mind. Hi, psychologist Hadil
Yeah.
can comment on that.
Mm.
So having a purpose is a psychological state of mind which drives us through to your goal by planning for it with enough accuracy using all the resources. Hadil, is
Mm.
it a psychological mind, a psychological state?
I don't want to label it actually. I don't want to label it and say, well, it's this or that as it's only psychological. It is affected by a lot of things. And it's not only psychological, it's in all aspects. When I look at my purpose and my motivation and the meaning of life or meaning and purpose of what I do every single day, I will bring all of those wellness pillars into it emotionally, physically, financially, all of it to say, this is my meaning and purpose?
Maybe we can
Um,
say
So, yeah,
it's a mindset rather
it's a
than a
a
mindset.
yeah,
mindset.
it's a
Yes,
mindset.
I like that, Rania. Yeah, it's a mindset.
yeah.
Exactly. To have meaning means what values to you, what's important, and
What's
setting goals
important?
in life.
Can I tell
Another.
you something, Dana? It's
Tell
it's
me.
amazing how there's a lot of knowledge. I see the comments, I read the comments, and everybody has really rich knowledge about meaning and purpose, and actually do find their meaning and purpose. When Rania asked me, it took me a little bit of time, so I love that.
One more comment. We need to have a vision and mission to ourselves. We need to be happy. We need,
Yeah.
Rania, you're the happiness
Yeah.
expert here. We need to be happy.
Well, that's a debate, and it's a debate. Happiness is a choice, from my opinion, and happiness is an internal job rather than an outside job. Um, so we don't need to be happy because happiness is, I would say, it's a byproduct of Really, when you connect with what's meaningful and what's purposeful, it's a byproduct. Happiness is a byproduct of that.
I agree.
Yeah.
So we need to be happy, focused, responsible, and strive for the best to reach our goals and targets in life. God bless everybody. Thank you so much. God bless you too. Happiness is a spiritual experience of living every minute with love, grace, and gratitude. I think, Nanya, this is spot on.
Yes,
It is spot on. Hello and good morning, everyone. I understand gratitude is the essence of having motivation and
absolutely.
direction in life with persistence. It's a continuous effort. I cannot agree more.
Yeah,
Sometimes, in order to start motivating ourselves, I believe we need to go out of our comfort zone, if I'm not mistaken, and to surround ourselves with the right people to avoid listening to the negative thoughts that might affect our mindset, and to always appreciate what we have and try our best to at least try going out or out of our comfort zone. I wanna comment on this one actually. I read it in a book the other day that I agree on the point that we need to surround ourselves with the right people because you are the average of the 5 people around you. So if you are in a bubble or in a circle that is always complaining, that there's always negative about things, that there's always complaining about financial worries and all of that, you will end up being that person. But if you
absolutely.
surround yourself and with the positive attitude, with the people with the right mindset, with the people with motivation and all of that, you will end up being that average person. And you will wonder, you'll see, oh my God, I'm attracting positive things. It's because you are surrounding yourself with these
Yeah,
people.
Absolutely.
that's very true.
Another comment, thank you for creating this online meeting about such an interesting topic. I believe that's important to feel seen, validate, respect, valuable in our relationship with families, friends, and as well in our job. To give more motivation towards the goals we set for ourselves. Absolutely. And thank you for enjoying this session with us. Going back to you, ladies, for now.
Yes. Thank you,
Yeah.
Dana, for sharing that. Keep an eye on the chat room
I will.
because we have so many rich comments.
Yes.
So our meaning and purpose basically can be on so many different levels, on the personal level, social level, and professional level, because you are not only on a professional level, you are a father, a mother, a sister, a brother. On a personal level, you are a friend on a social level. So we have meaning and purpose on all those levels. Today, we will focus on the professional level. So if we want to go through a journey, your role, so if you look into your role, what you're doing, and how are you achieving your career goals and the KPIs that are set for you? You're achieving them and what impact those goals have. And also to look into the skills and strength to be able to achieve these goals. Without skills, without specific strength, we are unable, or it will be very challenging to achieve our career goals or goals in general. Identifying your strength is something really that strength basically is something you do naturally without realizing. So I'll give a personal example on strength, Hadil. Uh, I had a session with my coach and we did
Yeah.
a strength assessment test. And my number one strength was humor and playfulness. And exactly, I asked Bill, my coach's name was Bill. I told him, Bill, how is this even a strength? He said, a strength is something that you do naturally without thinking. So that's why it is a strength. And
Mm.
we often don't see our strength. We always focus on what's not working. Even in organization, we always focus on the areas where we need to develop rather than focus on our strength and how can we capitalize on strength. So when I became aware of my strength, opportunities start showing up in my journey. I worked for 18 years in corporate world between banking industry, telecommunication industry, pharmaceutical industry. And the moment I started realizing my strength is the moment where I took a shift and did my career shift. So currently, I am a medical clown. And for those of you who don't know what medical clown is basically I'm a clown that goes to the hospital to spread joy and laughter to sick children and to elderly people in elderly houses. So I used my strength as humor and playfulness to capitalize on it, to operate from it, and to achieve my purpose and meaning. So, strength is really an important and profound thing to work on. There are so many assessments that you can find online, free assessment to see what your strengths are. Another way to know your strength is to ask your colleagues because sometimes you don't see that this is a strength. And by getting a feedback from people around you, it will help
Yeah.
you see your strength better.
And
I
this is why
agree.
we said, when Dana said having that good impact, and you need to focus on who do you have around you, giving you that
Absolutely.
positive. I just want to read one comment. Somebody's saying we are really enjoying this beautiful discussion. It brings a lot of positive points to learn about having trust in ourselves and aim for higher goals. So yes,
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I encourage really everyone on this call to focus on your strength rather than on
yeah,
what's not working because it's demotivating when you keep thinking does not mean don't work on the areas where you need to improve, but really focus on your strength rather than what do I need to keep on doing to improve myself.
yeah.
What is the source of our meaning and purpose? Another deep question for today.
One of the things, actually, I caught that information because the people around us, I think, this one information that actually triggered something. I was thinking about that when Dana was talking. I was like, who are the people around me? And
Yeah,
it made me think, actually, everybody who's excited to, take a new journey, do new stuff, try new things, and those positive people who always thought about, I can, okay, this is difficult, but I can do it. This is difficult, I'm going to try. So I would say people around us is one of those definitely factors that
absolutely.
exist.
And I think, well, that will be a bit of a deep answer. It's really the
Yeah,
self-actualization. Is
yeah,
sometimes when you operate from a place where I want to get the approval of someone or the acceptance of someone or the approval, acceptance, assurance from someone, the attention from someone is different when you operate from a place of self actualization. And really, it's about me and me rather than me and the outer world. I want to, it's something that satisfies me rather than I'm doing that because I want to get the approval of Hadil or the attention of
yeah,
Hadil. And we so often do things for the wrong reasons. And that's where we are not aligned with our values. It's just maybe a philosophical way to put it, but the Maslow pyramid of needs, self-actualization is at the top of the pyramid.
top, yes.
Yeah.
Ladies, I want to read if there's an interesting question and a few comments that I'd like to before we move forward, and
Yes.
just to keep an eye on the time. It's important that we stay consistent and never give up. We are created on this earth to be useful to our people and others, to contribute and build up successful our societies, to be powerful and healthy. So every one of us has a role to do. If not, our life will be meaningless. I agree.
I agree to that.
We are social creatures, and we are a part of a community. Another question here we have: what skills required to develop or improve ourselves to achieve the Saudiya goals? how can we participate for the goals align with the team's objective? I think this is more uh, for you, Sarah, on for this question, for the skills to improve ourselves. But to be honest with you, this session is really aligning yourself with the overall Saudia's goals. And at the end of the day, you are part of this community. You are part of this entity. And you need to be aligned internally and externally, as we mentioned earlier, between the goals of yourself and the goals of the company you're working with. Because at the end of the day, it's the extended arm of this company. Today, when you are on that flight, you are not Dana, you are not Hadil, you are not Rania, you are Saudia. And so it's just aligning yourself with the overall goals of the company.
Absolutely. And I would like to add, Dana, is it all starts with self-awareness, you know? A question that I like asking myself, where does my responsibility lies in this situation or in achieving the goals
of your company?
Of your company? What's my responsibility? Because there are things that I cannot control. I really look into what I can control in a certain situation.
Absolutely.
So
one last
tell me.
comment. I think the most important thing about this discussion is knowing oneself, whether it's strength and improve it, or weakness and how to fix them into strength.
Dana, I think we lost Dana.
Hello?
Hadil, are you still?
Yes, yes. Can you hear me? Hello? Hello? Hello, hello?
Yeah, yes.
So I was saying, one comment, I think the most important thing about this discussion is knowing oneself, whether it's a strength and improve it, or a weakness and how to fix them into strength. I hope my understanding of this is accurate. It's not really about fixing your weaknesses, correct, Rania? It's not about fixing your weaknesses.
It's about focusing on your strength. And that's what we call, in coaching, we call it strength-based coaching, where we focus on your strength as a person. Of course, not neglecting the parts where you need improvement. But sometimes if we keep focusing on what needs improvement, it will most likely, it will not become a strength. You know, it will improve for sure, but it will not become a strength. That's why you need to give attention to your strength. And as I mentioned, there are so many assessments, free assessments online, strength assessments that can help you identify what are your strengths.
Yeah. So I think for the benefit of the time, we need to move on.
Yes.
I love the interaction. I love it, really. It's really very
enriching.
Exactly.
Yeah. So just quickly, let's go through what factors develop our meaning and purpose. Like, how do I know? How do I connect to that meaning and purpose? And I think we mentioned several factors of them during the discussion. Environmental factors is one of them. Basically, who people am I surrounding myself with? What inputs I'm giving myself, you know, with the media, with the news, with the social media channels. What are the environmental factors that shape the meaning and purpose? Personal factors, which lies into my character defects. I don't like to call them defects, but they are like flaws, let's say. What are my character flaws that I need to focus on and improve for me to be more connected to meaning and purpose? So I might be someone who spends so much time in the victim mode where I complain a lot, where I look at the negative side of things. But this is not supporting me connect with meaning and purpose. Most probably, I won't see a meaning and purpose. That's why I need to work on my growth mindset to be aligned more into the growth mindset and learner's mindset. Social factors as well shapes our meaning and purpose. So if you're surrounded with people who always demean you, you will not achieve this. You can't do that. It's impossible. I tried before and couldn't. So this also adds to the equation. Values and
Yeah.
beliefs. This is what we also discussed about what's important to us. Why do we lose our meaning and purpose? So, what happens that we are not connected to our meaning and purpose? We also shared like life happens to us, we feel overwhelmed, the stress of our jobs, our managers, the environment, major life changes. If I get married, if I get divorced, if I move countries.
Sorry, Rani, I
Um,
interrupted you. I would imagine now that we are talking to the cabin crew that sometimes those causes could be because their job requires long hours on the plane, having to do those drills and documenting everything, going through the steps every single day. You after a while you feel like it's the same day happening over and over again. After a while, with everything becoming a routine where you, let's say, have to interact with people, having those conflicts, after a while you feel like, what is the point? You know,
Absolutely.
why am I doing this? If it's, and I get to a point where I feel so burnt out, so tired, and I keep doing this, but I totally forgot why am I doing it. So it can also get to that point, especially for the cabin crew.
Absolutely. And if we reach to a place where we feel fatigued and burnt out, we are most likely unable to see we are
Yes.
foggy, we have poor judgment. It's very difficult and challenging to connect to our purpose and meaning. So
Yes.
I really invite everyone also to look into what are you doing today to take care of yourself and not reach to a place where you are not connected with your meaning and purpose. It's I always give this as a metaphor. So every day we brush our teeth in order to avoid pain in our, the what do we call it?
Gum,
The
gum.
Yeah,
gum.
to
Mm,
Oh,
protect
bad breath or bad breath, really.
our
mm,
bad breath. So you do it on daily basis to avoid reaching there.
yeah.
So what are you doing on daily basis to protect your energy, to protect your well-being as well?
Yeah.
What are you doing? Breathing, gratitude. These are all strategies that helps in protecting your energy. So
Yeah.
just I know we are running like we're
It's a
beyond
beautiful
the
discussion.
yeah.
صراحة. It's
Why
beautiful.
finding purpose in life is important? Okay, why is it important to really connect with the meaning? I'm living, I'm going to my work, I'm getting paid, and everything is okay. Why do I need to find my meaning and purpose? It has a physical benefit. So whenever you are connected, you are motivated, your body is experience lower cortisol levels, which is the stress hormone, and higher happy hormones, as we call them, the dopamine, oxytocin, serotonin, and endorphins. That's another module as well, where we can discuss more on the how to hack our hormones naturally. A lower likelihood of being overweight. It's connected also to being overweight because there is so much movement that you do, so much when you find the purpose, you don't go to process your emotion through food. Emotional benefits for sure, it reduces anxiety and stress. The overall happiness is higher. You feel more content and fulfilled, and you feel more
Feel more
confident,
confident.
higher
Yes.
self-esteem. On the cognitive level as well, you are more focused and clear on what you want. So you have clarity on where you're
Yeah.
heading. Improved decision making. So you are aligned with your values. You have better decision making process, and your creativity is enhanced when
Because I believe in myself more to do and to give more. Yes.
yeah, exactly. And occupational benefits is stronger work ethic. So I do my job with uh, achieving all my responsibilities. I am more
Yeah.
satisfied and I'm more productive at work. And I am more likely to collaborate with other team members, cross-functional, in order to be able to achieve what I have to achieve.
What I have.
Yeah.
So sorry for the benefit of the time.
Yes.
We're gonna go through the strategies quickly, but we apologize for overstepping the time. So if you have the time to stay with us, we just need 5 more minutes.
Yes.
Other than that, if you have another commitment that you feel like you need to drop off, please do. And thank you so much for your engagement. So let's go to the strategies directly, Hadil and Rania.
Yes.
Okay. Can I start, Rania?
Yes, absolutely.
All right. Now, what we want to talk about when it comes to trying to understand, because someone asked about the job and how could the purpose and the meaning to put this in a way in my job every single day. The thing is, I really need to take a step back and first thing first, try to reflect on what I do every single day. What is my job? What are the tasks that I do every single day in my job? And let's say, and for example, if we are talking about your job and what you go through every single day of going to your job, getting on a plane, wait for or communicate with people for 8 to 9 hours, and then get off the plane and get to another plane. After a while, turning this into routine can be very annoying and frustrating. So the idea here is to ask yourself, what can I add to this job or to those tasks that will make me feel like it's not just this routine? I lost my voice. So what I can do is if I need to understand what makes me unhappy in this. I'm sure it's not the whole all the tasks. There is that one task or two tasks that I sometimes would question if I'm happy with, if I can do. I doubt myself. So I really need to reflect on that. What is that task that makes me unhappy, that makes me question things, that makes me want to go and um, overlook everything and think this is not for me. So trying to understand this, and I can see you're moving,
Yes, I'm just,
Rania.
yeah.
So yeah, so going back to that, trying to craft my job. If I have the default in doing something, certain things, certain tasks every single day, how do I change this default? If I was given, for example, I was given to do this workshop and I was giving this internet, this workshop, the presentation, all of that, how would I add, if this makes me nervous, if this makes me feel less confident, how would I add to it? So basically, I'll fix the lighting, I'll try to read more. Part of the cabin crew job is communicating with people, Rania. So I think one of the could be very frustrating sometimes communicating with people and dealing with people, and somebody can be rude sometimes, would really affect us. So how do I communicate with people? Maybe that would upset me throughout my job and every day for 9 hours. How can I fix that? Maybe taking, and I heard that everybody takes courses, you are given courses for communication, but what happens if I take it a step further and try to read more about what could really affect people when communicating to become, let's say, in that day rude or upset. So it's very important to craft my job and try to connect where I feel like it hurts the most or it bothers me the most, and try to learn more about it and understand it and reflect on that.
Absolutely. Thank you, Adil. That
Yes.
was
Thank you.
beautifully said. Dana, do
Thank
we
you.
have any comment?
I believe personal development encourages the mindset of continuous growth and learning. It will allow you to expand your knowledge.
Absolutely.
And I think one of the things that we need to take a step back and understand our goals. We need to, if we feel like we can see the vision, but I'm still losing daily, I feel like I'm still in that routine. I really need to take a step back and try to understand what are my goals. What's wrong with this goal that I cannot achieve or it's not working for me? Maybe I need to readjust, reevaluate, and set new goals to achieve this purpose that I want and bigger picture.
Lovely. So I think we're
We ran
ahead
out
of
of time.
yeah, we ran out of time. This is a
Yes.
very enriching conversation, actually.
If Rania, you go through the slides, I think we covered most of, throughout the
Yes.
extended conversation is we've covered
Yes.
most of what am I unhappy about. We talked about our emotions, our fears, our doubts.
Yes.
The other strategy is what you just mentioned about in the next slide is about goals, setting goals,
Setting the goal.
reevaluating our goals. So we did mention that, and we evaluate our goals if it's not serving us. And again, as we mentioned, we talked about our values and our belief system. We talked about others' expectations and the community we live within.
We spoke
Really,
about
it's
the
about
short
as
term,
well
long
the
term.
vision. It's a long term and doing the
Yeah.
short things every day. It's our short term goals, setting our goals. So throughout the conversation, we managed to cover everything in an engage in a different way. I'm going to leave it just for another 5 minutes. If anybody has more comments that they'd like to connect with us on, we'd love to hear more from you. I believe that this was I hearing a lot of positive comments on the group. I'm glad you're enjoying this conversation. It means a lot to me. Wishing all of you endless blessings, success, and happiness in everything you do. Thank you so much. I'm glad that you enjoyed it. It's important to motivate yourself and be grateful to our chosen jobs. And you will have a better outlook, not only in your profession, but as well in your personal life. I agree. We always sometimes complain, but the thing is, sometimes we just need to be grateful that we have the physical ability to do a job. Grateful that we
Absolutely.
have a job. Grateful that we are in a good job that treats us well. We have a lot of benefits. It pays us at the end of the month. So we always tend, as Rani mentioned, to look at the negative things rather on the positive. As we always say, look at the cup half full rather than the cup half empty.
Yeah, Dana, I would like to mention a book before we leave this call that is really, really an interesting read for meaning and purpose. It's by Dr. Viktor Frankl, Man's Search for Meaning. So he was a prisoner in the Nazi concentration camps, and he was able to find a meaning despite all the challenges. It's a very interesting read. Maybe I can write it in the chat. I don't know if I have access to the Man's
Yeah.
Search. Yeah.
Rani had a question for you, but sometimes we get the cortisol out of stress of our squeezed lines and schedule because we can trade flights easily and have longer time to spend in our social life. But now it's really hard to have only 4 days or 5 days. We don't have enough time to rest physically and mentally. We need Saudi to look after that so we can achieve more to Saudi. I agree. Cortisol levels are out of the roof. It's because of the stress. It's because of really, yeah, it's not about your company. Everybody's working hard, especially around this time of the year. It's very stressful and all of that. But I think if you communicate that, it's all about communication. If you communicate that to your manager, to your team, I am sure that it's something will be done about it. It's really it's how you say things and when you say things.
And I add something, Dana, is focusing on what you can control. Really,
You're
this
right.
will really help you. What can you control in this situation?
Yeah, absolutely. I agree. It's just what you can control because most of the time we focus on what we cannot control to be the victim in the victim mode and complain about it. I think we really need to focus on what we can control. Absolutely.
And do you know why we like to be in the victim mode?
Yeah, why?
Because it's easier. It's
Mahmoud.
Oh,
easier to
definitely.
complain rather than really take action and change.
You're right.
So
Any more comments? Any more feedback, questions? We will be here for the upcoming 2 minutes. Apologies again for running over time, but really I'm sure we missed a lot of the comments as well. It was a lovely session. We loved being here. Thank you so much,
yeah, it was
Saudia, for
lovely.
the opportunity. Thank you, Bupa, for
So
making this
our
happen.
Kun plane just landed safely.
Yes.
Cabin crew check.
Cabin crew check.
Thank you,
You
Rania.
can unfasten your seatbelt.
And thank you. Thank you. So
Thank
حدا كاتب لنا thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you,
Yeah.
thank you. عن جد thank you. Really,
I
thank you.
think it's Sarah.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you.
Thank you, everybody. I
Thank you,
was so
Saudia,
happy.
for having us.
Bye.
Bye.